Kira and welcome back to another vlog. Today is Thursday the 31st of December, so the final day of 2020, and basically it's just quite a normal day for us. Although a lot of things this year have been very different because of distancing and lockdowns and all of that kind of stuff, one day for me that's going to be exactly the same is today, New Year's Eve, because usually Jay and I literally do nothing. We stay at home, eat food, maybe watch a movie or something, but basically we just have a really chilled out evening, and so that'll definitely be happening again this year, but it's basically just a normal New Year's Eve. But I'm very excited for a new year. Not that much is going to be different, but I do just like that fresh start feeling, maybe setting some goals and all kinds of stuff. But first of all, it is just going to be a chilled out, relaxing evening, which is very perfect because I've just had a delivery of an Unplugged book box. Melanie, the owner of Unplugged, was very kind to send this one to me, and it's so perfect because Unplugged, if you're not aware of it, is basically a book box that is half book themed and half like self-care themed. So the theme is obviously all about unplugging, relaxing, taking time for self-care and all of that fun stuff, which is exactly what I'm planning to do tonight with my New Year's Eve. So this book box could not have arrived at a better time. So I thought that I would open it here for you on camera so we can see what's inside, because I have no idea. So without further ado, let's jump in. Ooh, okay, so this one is the December adult box. So they have a YA box and an adult box every single month, so I'm very excited to see what's inside. Ooh, ooh, Moonstruck Dark Chocolate Cocoa. Wow. Well, that's gonna be delightful, and it is vegan. The only ingredients are powdered sugar, cocoa, and natural flavoring. So it's vegan, and I will definitely be making this tonight. Oh my god, the packaging looks so pretty as well. I love this. Okay, then we have I think this is a candle. Area X blood orange cloves and green leaves. Oh, it's sparkly on the inside. Oh, that's so refreshing. I wasn't expecting that. That's like a very fruity smell.
That's nice though.
Yeah, really nice. This was going to be perfect for like springtime, I think. Okay, then we have a little pin, which again, I'm not sure what this is actually. It's got like a little elfy thing and a witchy thing. I don't know what that is in reference to, but it's cute. Okay. Ooh. What is this? Ooh, a roll-on perfume. Ooh. That's really nice. You want to smell my wrist?
Yeah, on your wrist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got it on your wrist.
I like that. Okay, then we have a little drawstring bag, which I don't know if there's something to go in it. There's a pie thing. Is this like a pie slicer or like a dough thing? I'm not sure, but it looks cool. Okay, then we have a little book sleeve. And then finally, the book. So, I like how they keep the book a secret by wrapping it twice. The Lady Upstairs by Hayley Sutton, a delicious dark thriller about a woman who makes a living taking down terrible men, then finds herself in over her head with blood on her hands. Jo's job is blackmailing horrible men. The worst of today's Los Angeles, she is motivated as much by the money she's making and the debt she's paying off as by the chance to take back power for the women of the city. Eager to prove herself to her co-worker Lou and their enigmatic boss, known only as the Lady Upstairs, Jo takes on bigger, riskier jobs until one of her targets ends up murdered. Desperate to escape the consequences of her failed job, Jo decides to take on just one more sting, and she will do it behind her boss's back, freeing both herself and Lou from the lady's grasp. But soon, Jo learns that Lou and the lady have secrets of their own, and that no woman is safe when there is a life-changing payout on the line. That sounds interesting. Very interesting. So, I have to say, I'm probably most excited about the hot chocolate because I love hot chocolate, but this perfume smells so delicious, and I'm definitely going to be lighting this candle later as well. So again, big thank you to Unplugged Book Box for sending this over. I will have a link to Unplugged in the description box down below so you can check them out. Like I said, they do adult boxes and YA, and they all are so lovely, and I just love the concept of a self-care and bookish box because that just sounds wonderful. So, in terms of New Year's Eve plans, I think Jay and I are going to go to the gym in a bit, and then once we get back from the gym, the relaxation will begin. Happy New Year, guys. Last night, New Year's Eve, ended up being even more relaxed than I expected. We basically just ate food, watched an episode of The Queen's Gambit, which I am loving. I think we're about halfway through the series now, and it is incredible. I'm literally obsessed, and Anya Taylor-Joy is just incredible in everything. We did that. I then ended up watching about 3 or 4 hours worth of TikTok. It's just so easy to fall into the TikTok hole, and then I went to bed. So it was a very chilled out evening. Nothing really very remarkable, but quite a nice evening nonetheless. And it is now a whole new year, 2021, and started out again with quite a chilled out day because the world is kind of dead on New Year's Day. Done a food shop, been to the gym, and now I'm back home with a cup of tea. And throughout the day I have been pondering on what book I should start the year with. I know in a lot of ways it's just another book, but it also feels like quite an important decision because it's the first book that I'll be reading this year, the first book to go on Goodreads for the year, and I just want to make sure that I start on a strong note. So the book that I've decided to go for is The Most Fun We Ever Had by Claire Lombardo. I bought this book in summer, and because of the cover being quite like a summery vibe with the blue and yellow, I just had this assumption that it was a summery book, so I kind of didn't read it in summertime, ended up thinking I was just going to wait until next summer, but I then realised that the book actually has nothing to do with summer and is just a general, like, complicated family dynamic character study. And the reason I've decided to go for this one now is because Em recently read it and absolutely loved it, so I'm very keen to read it and see what it's about, and I'm pretty confident that I'm going to enjoy it because Em always gives the best book recommendations. So this is going to be my first book of 2021, which is super cool, and I hope I'm really going to enjoy it. With that in mind, I thought I would touch on my Goodreads goal for the year. So last year and the year before that, I set a goal of reading 75 books throughout the year. Last year I managed to, well actually no, it's 2 years ago now. In 2019 I managed to read 75 books exactly, and then last year, or yesterday, I managed to read 83 books throughout the whole of 2020. So this year, 2021, I've decided to up my target and I'm going for 85 books as my goal. So that's the Goodreads goal. I'm starting out strong, gonna start reading today on the first day of the year, and basically just hopefully get off to a strong strong start. So with that in mind, I'm going to enjoy this cup of tea, maybe have a couple of afternoon snacks, and then do a little bit of reading. I feel like it's always the case that the last couple of days of the Christmas holidays go really, really quickly. So it is now the 2nd of January, which is my second to last day off before going back to work for the new year. And I have not been able to shake the feeling that it's a Tuesday all day. I think somewhere in my mind, I just associate the 1st of January with being a new start and therefore obviously being a Monday. But that's just not how calendars work. So obviously the new year was on a Friday. So today is Saturday, it's the 2nd of January, but I feel like it's a Tuesday and I feel like my entire body calendar clock situation has just been way thrown off, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get back into a routine next week. But either way, it's Saturday and surprise, surprise, it's just another chilled out day. It's absolutely freezing cold today. It's been on and off snowing all day. So I have been attached at the hip to my hot water bottle, which is like the saviour of 2020 and probably the beginning of 2021, because I'm such a cold person and working from home, this has just been like my constant companion and I absolutely love it. So that's helping me out. And I also finally started reading. I wouldn't exactly say I've been in a reading slump, but I just haven't really had much desire to do any reading recently. I've just had so much good stuff to watch, and I think that I've just been enjoying having a relaxing couple of weeks off. Obviously, Jay and I have been loving watching The Queen's Gambit, and I've also decided to go back and start watching Call the Midwife from the first season again. I watched the Christmas special over the Christmas break, obviously, and it was so incredible that I decided I wanted to go back and start from season 1 again. I've obviously seen all of the episodes, but it's been so long since I've gone back and watched the first ones, and it's so interesting to see how everything has evolved. It's set at the very beginning in the mid-1950s, and then where it's at currently, we're in like the mid-1960s. So a lot has changed throughout those years, but you don't really notice it when you're watching it as you go. But having just watched the Christmas special, which is obviously like the most modern version of Call the Midwife, and then going straight back to season 1 is so interesting to see. But it's just such a heartwarming show and I love it so much. But I have finally pulled myself away from television and done a little bit of reading. I'm on page 32 of The Most Fun We Ever Had, and so far I'm enjoying it, although I'm obviously only at the very beginning. It definitely seems like it's going to be an interesting read. There's a lot going on though, and I feel like I'm very much just getting to grips with the characters and the storyline. This is like a family character study, is I guess the way that I'd describe it. We have a family of 6, 2 parents, and then their 4 daughters. There's a like prologue which kind of shows them quite a few years ago, but the vast majority of the book is taking place with the daughters all being grown up. I think one of the parents is retired, the other one is still working, and they seem quite like perfect to like the outward eye, but there's a lot of like things going on beneath the surface and fractures in these relationships that are going to be quite dramatic. So far, like I said, one of the parents is retired, the other one is still working. That definitely seems like a bit of a fracture because suddenly one is kind of like slowing down whereas the other one is still going really hard into work, and that's kind of a bit of a like source of tension. We have the youngest daughter kind of struggling with what she wants to do post-graduation. We have another one who's like suddenly pregnant and doesn't really know what to do. I think we have a widow, and then another one who has a son that she gave up for adoption when she was a lot younger, coming back into her life, and there's lots of things going on. So all kinds of drama, lots to decipher. It's written in a slightly confusing way in that like chapters are not necessarily dedicated to different characters, and instead you just have like different paragraphs that kind of like switch whose perspective you're getting. So it is slightly confusing, or at least it was in the very beginning, but I feel like I'm just kind of getting to grips with it now, and I'm sure it'll become easier to understand as I go. But I'm definitely enjoying this one, so I think I'm gonna refill my hot water bottle, make another cup of tea, and then continue reading, but probably I'm going to end up watching Call the Midwife soon. Well, now that Christmas is over, I'm back on the chai lattes and it feels good. I have missed these so much. I was obviously enjoying over the festive period trying as many of the like Christmas limited edition drinks as possible, but nothing compares to chai lattes, especially an oat milk chai latte from Cafe Nero. It's just unbeatable. They are so good. Been to the gym this morning, so this is like the perfect post-gym treat. It's just so delicious, and I always feel so happy when I'm drinking these. They're so creamy and sweet and cinnamony and basically everything good in the world, and I just have the best time when I'm drinking them. And today, I'm saying it now, it's morning, it's Monday, it's the 4th of January, and today's the day that I'm actually going to do some reading. I've been doing little bits of reading of The Most Fun We Ever Had over the past couple of days, but I'm literally only like 50 pages in, so I've been reading tiny amounts every day. But today I have no plans. I don't start back at work until tomorrow, and I'm going to make the most of today and spend all day reading. Okay, I haven't done much today aside from going to the gym and getting coffee, but what I have done is break through with some reading. I'm now on page 149 of The Most Fun We Ever Had, and I feel like I've had like such a good afternoon reading session, which has been lovely because it's freezing cold outside, and it was so nice to just curl up with a hot water bottle, a tea, and this wonderful book. It's quite a big book, there's over 500 pages, and the writing inside is also like pretty small, so there is quite a lot of content in here. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm not going to push myself, or rather try and rush myself to read it quickly, because there's so much going on and so many key characters that I don't want to miss any of the key details, because there's just so much going on. But I am really enjoying it, and definitely going to continue reading on this afternoon. I have to say, because there are so many main characters, I'm not connecting with them all just yet, but I do feel like we're kind of getting more insight into certain characters at this point, and I'm sure that will all even out as we go through the book. But at the moment, we're mostly focusing on the parents from this family, Marilyn and David, as well as their two oldest daughters, who are Wendy and Violet. Wendy and Violet, I would say, are my two most intriguing characters. Not necessarily the characters I like the most, because they're not particularly likeable, especially Violet, but they are definitely interesting. Violet is the character who gave a baby up for adoption when she was a teenager, and then that child kind of comes back into her life now that she's an adult. She's married and has two other children, and Wendy is the basic reason that this child comes back into her life, because Wendy took it upon herself to go and find her sister's adopted son and basically brings him back into the situation. That's a big source of tension between these two sisters, and it's really interesting to see both of their reactions to this scenario. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a very complicated family dynamic, and what's interesting is that we're getting everyone's individual perspectives, and you're seeing that this family, although they seem to be apparently close, they actually don't know a lot about each other, because they all just live such they all live under such a facade, so that they're the personality that they put out to the world and even to their family is actually very different from what's going on under the surface, which is very, very interesting. So I'm going to do some more reading now, and I'll catch up with you later on with some more thoughts. Wow, what a bloody plot twist. And I'm not talking about this book, I'm talking about my life and the world in general, because today is Tuesday the 5th of January. It's my first day working from home again since after Christmas, and as it turns out, it's also the first day of the third national lockdown here in England. It's one of those things that you kind of just have to laugh, otherwise you'll cry. I wasn't expecting this, I'm not gonna lie. To an extent, I think the whole nation was expecting a third national lockdown to be announced at some point, but I think generally we expected it to be in a couple of weeks' time, because the government made an announcement about tiers and what lockdown restrictions were going to be in place literally just on New Year's Eve. So they very recently made an announcement already, and then it's only the 5th, so it's literally been a couple of days. Their next announcement wasn't due until mid-January, but then yesterday Boris decided to make a snap announcement, which generally only means one thing, and of course it did. It meant the start of another national lockdown. So that's that, I suppose. What a start to the year. Honestly, my life doesn't change massively due to lockdown. I'm not someone that does a huge amount of socializing. I don't really go out, I don't drink, all that kind of stuff, but it does mean no more gym and yoga and all of that kind of stuff, which is obviously disappointing, but it is what it is, and I'm just rolling with the punches because that is literally all we can do at the moment. So back to lockdown life, it would seem, for the foreseeable future, but that is fine. I'm just gonna go with it. But that announcement was made at 8 p.m. last night, and after that I didn't quite fancy doing any more reading because I just wanted to comfort watch Cold Midwife and drink 700 cups of tea, and that is exactly what I did. So I don't have another reading update for you. I've kicked off my First day of the third lockdown in true lockdown style, obviously working, but I just did my first lunchtime at home workout, which was really nice. Definitely felt good to just like move around and do something. And I am going to be doing some more reading later on, but I think I will finish off this vlog here. This was kind of supposed to be a new year, start to 2021 type of vlog, and I definitely had a lovely start to the new year. Very slow few days, enjoying the post-Christmas chilled out vibes, and of course getting in as many gym sessions as I could before what turned out to be a very, very, very soon lockdown. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I got up to over the last few days, and I'll catch up with you in my next lockdown vlog, I suppose. So thanks for watching, see you next time.